Hello. Well, the students this time have chosen the topic of same-sex marriage. Now, this is something I've had to research a little bit more about because I admit my lack of knowledge on this. Okay, but the question raised was, should non-heterosexual marriage be allowed? Now, this is quite interesting because when we look on TV, we can see a lot of celebrities with different orientation to heterosexuality. But when it comes to regular life, this is what we're questioning, and particularly about this idea of same-sex marriage. So first of all, do you agree with this? Japan does not recognize same-sex marriages or civil unions. It is the only country in the G7 that does not legally recognize same-sex unions in any form. If we look at the world, you can see that marriage equality occurs in 32 countries, including Japan, but it doesn't accept legal marriage. But probably more concerning is that 69 countries have criminalized homosexuality, and half of these would appear to be in Africa itself. Again, let's just think about the main message. Regardless of your gender, love is not a crime. This is a gay Indian rights activist protest in a court ruling in 2013, which upheld a law which criminalized gay sex. So do you agree with this? Several prefectures issue symbolic same-sex partnership certificates, which provide some benefits, but do not offer any legal recognition. Is that fair? Well, these partnership certificates, well, as you can see, this is the number that have been offered out. And you can see that Osaka is the highest, with Tokyo second and Kanagawa third. So we have these partnership certificates, but most polls conducted since 2013 found that the majority of Japanese people support the legalization of same-sex marriage or partnerships. And a 2018 poll found it supported by an overwhelming majority of those aged under 60. So it would seem like the younger voices are spoken. And then in this survey, we have found that according to Asahi Shimbun Densu, nearly 9% of Japanese identify as LGBT. And in this survey, most of the population were for same marriage in 2021, as opposed to 2015, 6 years ago, when the opposite occurred. So times are changing. So should we decide to change our ideas about same-sex marriage? Yep, that is the question. So homosexuality, is it a disorder? Well, some people think so, but it's been 15 years since Tanaka Otsuji became Japan's first openly gay politician. Yeah, along this week, LGBT candidates launched a petition objecting to a pamphlet which was distributed at a meeting at our LDP lawmakers, which described homosexuality as an acquired psychological disorder. Now, I'm not sure this is correct, but this is what I have found according to the Guardian newspaper. So there is some protests going on. Now, let's look at the legal side of it. All right. There's the Sapporo district's point of view, and there's the Osaka's district's point of view. Now, according to Sapporo, not permitting same-sex couples to enjoy even a part of the legal effects that arise from marriage is basically violates Article 14 of the post-war Constitution, which basically says that equality should be for all people under the law. Whereas Osaka says that the ban on same-sex marriage was constitutional and that LGBT rights could be protected by other laws, although I'm not sure exactly how. Now, if we look at the Constitution doesn't prohibit same-sex marriage, it says. Rather, since the right to marry who one desires is a fundamental human right guaranteed by the Constitution, not recognizing same-sex marriage is arguably unconstitutional. Now, there are those who believe that same-sex marriage is unconstitutional and they cite Article 24, paragraph 1 of the Constitution, which states that marriages shall be based only on the mutual consent of both sexes. and interprets this to mean the Constitution has banned same-sex marriage. But if we look at this idea about both sexes, it doesn't actually say that it bans marriage between the same sex. So there is indeed a gray area which needs to be interpreted. So coming out of the closet is the expression. So gay sex has been legal in Japan since 1880. But members of the LGBT community remain largely invisible outside of the entertainment world. Many have yet to come out even to their families. So again, reading a Guardian article, this includes Yoshiko, who has not spoken openly about her sexuality to her parents or to her colleagues at a big company in Tokyo. She says, "I'm from a rural area and my parents are getting old. I don't think they would understand," she said. "And no one at my workplace has come out, even though it employs a lot of people. If same-sex marriage was legalized, that might encourage more people to come out, as it would mean they have gained acceptance under the law. But it would take a lot of courage for me to come out." So the law might give certain people confidence. Well, let's have a look at the disadvantages anyway about this gay marriage idea. There is a traditional view. The institution of marriage has traditionally been defined as being between a man and a woman. Civil unions and domestic partnerships could provide the protections and benefits gay couples need without changing the definition of marriage. So J.F. Harvey, the late Catholic priest, wrote in July 2009 that throughout the history of human race, the institution of marriage has been understood as the complete spiritual and bodily communion of one man and one woman. A second disadvantage is the idea about families. Marriage is for procreation. In other words, having families. Same-sex couples should be prohibited because they cannot produce children together. The purpose of marriage should not shift away from producing and raising children to adult gratification. A third question is being distinct. Now, gay marriage has accelerated the assimilation of gays into mainstream heterosexual culture to the detriment, according to one article, of the homosexual community. Lesbian activist M.V. Lee Baggett, a PhD director of the Center of Public Policy and Administration at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst, stated for many gay activists, marriage means adopting heterosexual forms of family and giving up distinctively gay family forms, and perhaps even gay and lesbian culture. So people change to more heterosexual community ideas. However, as you can guess, there are obviously the benefits as well. The first one, discrimination. To deny some people the option to marry would be discriminatory and would create a second class of citizens. Same-sex couples should have access to the same benefits enjoyed by heterosexual married couples. Over 1,000 benefits, rights, and protections are available to married couples in federal law alone, including hospital visitations, filing a joint tax return to reduce a tax burden, access to family health coverage, and then in the US, the residency and family unification for partners from another country, and bereavement leave and inheritance rights if a partner dies. So these are fundamental rights for heterosexual marriages. This argument should be allowed for same-sex marriages as well. A second benefit, well, interestingly, it could boost the economy. Gay marriages bring financial gain to, for example, in America, the federal and state and local governments, and boost the economy. In Japan, it could too, possibly. The Congressional Budget Office estimated in 2004 that federally recognized gay marriage would cut the budget deficit by around $450 million a year. So let's think about what that could do in Japan. The government revenue from marriage comes from marriage licenses, high income taxes in some circumstances, the so-called marriage penalty, and decreases in cost for state benefit programs. Furthermore, if we think a bit more about other considerations, well, traditionally inaccurate. So the concept of traditional marriage has changed over time, and the idea that the definition of marriage has always been between one man and woman is historically inaccurate. According to Harvard University historian Nancy F. Cott, she stated that monogamous households, i.e., with just one male and one female partner, were a tiny proportion of the world's population and were found only in Western Europe and little settlements in North America. So this doesn't represent everyone in the world. Second, the world's first legal gay marriage took place apparently in the Netherlands in April 2001, just after midnight. 4 couples, 1 male, well, 1 female and 3 male, were married in a televised ceremony officiated by the Mayor of Amsterdam. However, as you can see in the picture, doesn't mean that marriages were not did not occur. And then marriage is not only for procreation, otherwise infertile couples or couples not wishing to have children would be prevented from marrying. So in other words, from 1970 to 2012, roughly 30% of all US households were married couples without children. And in 2012, married couples without children outnumbered married couples with children by 9%. So that's in America. If we look in Japan, though, you can see that there is a decline in birth rates and a decline in marriages. So there might be some type of correlation in itself, but that's an argument outside my scopes of thinking. But as you can see, presenting gay rights is a popular theme throughout the world. And their benefits are accepting same-sex marriages. So let's think about these benefits. First, equal rights for everyone. Prohibition of gay rights is outdated. Equal benefits for all people is important for all couples. Gay marriages are part of a modern and tolerant society. Cultural values changed a lot over time. Positive health effects that can occur through gay couples. Lower stress levels for same-sex couples as well, if we allow same-sex marriage. Difference between religious and legal marriage should be made, as they are not the same. Can also be justified from a legal and constitutional perspective as well. Can help more orphans get adopted. People do no longer have to hide their true nature. Many celebrities embrace the idea of gay marriage, and there's an increasing number of people considering gay marriages as normal now. And finally, it's good for the economy. So they're the benefits, but what about the issues regarding it? Well, gay marriage may conflict with religious beliefs. Self-sex marriage may conflict with cultural values as well. Many people still consider it as dodgy. Can I accept it or not? They feel uncomfortable about it. Marriage should be linked to procreation, they say. Tolerance towards gay couples is still missing. Opponents claim that gay marriage is against human nature, apparently. Gay marriage may violate certain traditions. Marriage may lose its importance in our society. Opponents of gay marriage claim that it is immoral, that it's not right. Raising kids in households with mother and father works best, apparently. May only be the beginning of the erosion of cultural concepts as a result, and not allowed in many countries still. So is that the right way of thinking about it? And some people rather claim to abandon the concept of marriage in general because marriage is an outdated idea. And same-sex marriages can be expensive for the for the people paying for it. So these are issues as well. So I would like you again to think about the pros and cons and go to 2 sides, pros on this side and cons on that side, prepare your ideas and then get ready to discuss. Thank you very much.